like it's still we're at the final step of it, so hopefully it forwards. Okay.
Okay, call this meeting to order on June the 25th, 2024, and the mayor is away today, and Glenn Basarovich will be late.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So I'll bring forward the resolution to adoption of the agenda. So resolve the agenda for the meeting be adopted as circulated with the noted additions. New other business 6.9 Gull Lake Ratepayers Association tipping fees. Communication for information 9.2.1 municipal and north relations. Jose Ferrara, McKay Road infrastructure. Communication for information 9.4.5 Interlake Eastern Regional Health Authority Selkirk Regional Health Center expansion update. And then planning hearings 6 p.m. 13.3 conditional use 13 2024 28049 Road 77 North Submission Kuzminski.
Can I have a mover, please? Dave Sutherland, second Scott. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Can I have
Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair,
Oh, sorry.
can I have one addition to the agenda, and it's just in dates, no? Okay.
No.
It's just in dates for the summer for council meetings and our committee of whole, please.
Okay. So we'll add that to the agenda. Okay. Thank you. Okay, can we get an adoption of the agenda?
We've already passed the adoption of the agenda, so
Oh,
we'll go to the minutes.
Confirmation of the
Mr. Chair.
minutes?
So resolve the minutes of June 11th, 2024 regular meeting in council be adopted as presented.
So moved.
Moved by Rob, second by Sandra. All in favor? Opposed? Carried.
And so for item number 4, Mr. Chair, reception of delegations, Graham Crawford from 4 Mile Road has asked to reschedule for the next meeting of council as Mr. Crawford is sick and was unable to attend.
Okay, so we'll hold that over to the next meeting. Okay, thank you.
So communications for action. And so, okay, we can proceed with that one next, Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
So what we have is the Eastern District Golf Tournament invitation, and this is the AMM's Eastern District Golf Tournament that's held on a yearly basis. This year it'll be hosted by the Village of St. Pierre-Jolie, and it'll be held at the Maplewood Golf Club on Monday, August 19th, 2024. The tournament will start at 9:30 in the morning for registration, and the first tee off is at 11 a.m. It's $150 per person, and that includes golf, cart rental, as well as all the other festivities that are associated with the golf tournament.
Okay. So any interest, Sandra, to get these clubs listed
It's
off
still in the box, sorry.
Put the lawnmower
Just
away.
selling.
Yeah?
Get the clubs up.
For antiques.
I'm not going.
No?
So right now we have the mayor and 2 council members.
Well, I
and they-
put Glenn, assuming he'd be interested.
Yeah. So we've got 2 council members and the mayor identified so far, but I don't think the mayor yet plays. She just helps out during the tournament. And so what we have is 2 members of council so far that have been authorized. Anyone else wishes to?
Should Mr. Joshi be interested?
Sure.
Yeah.
I never say no to golf tournaments.
There's
I
about-
never, I
there's
never
about-
presume it's council's decision.
There was about 3 on that
What's
sheet,
your
so
name?
he's got a lot of choices.
So what do we got? 2? So we got you and Glenn?
And
Myself, Glenn, and Scott, and we may need a 4th if we want to have a full team.
Okay, I'll come.
Okay, so resolve Mayor Feeblecorn and Councillor Scott Spicer, Glenn Basarowicz, David Horbis, and Deepak Joshi be authorized to attend the 2024 Eastern Golf Tournament at the Maplewood Golf Course in St. Pierre, Shawley.
Moved by Dave Sutherland, second by Rob. All in favor? So carried.
The next one, Mr. Chair, is the yearly Inclusion Selkirk. It's the regular golf tournament that's held by the City of Selkirk, and it's in support of Inclusion Selkirk for fundraising. Again, the cost is $150 per person or $600 for a foursome, and the registration includes golf in the same old situations. And this one is on August 22nd, 2024.
Any interest? Rob?
No, I'm on the, I think I'm in that spreadsheet I'm on for August 1st.
August first,
Yeah, I'm already down for the one at Association of Real Municipalities.
Well, is there some council members that would be appropriate for the CA to go let us know?
So, are we gonna
Well,
go?
we'll be
Is
going.
that where you think we should go?
We have attended, or St. Clements has supported Inclusion Selkirk for years
Okay.
as part of the golf tournament.
Well, let's put down the same, sorry, Scott, go ahead.
do we have any interest?
We know Glenn will
I think Councillor Basarowicz is probably interested.
Well, my suggestion was gonna be if he's not, then we should just give him a donation. Like if no one's going,
Do you wanna go?
no, I can't make it.
No? Okay, so even if I went, that's only 3, so we'd be short one person.
be
And then you don't necessarily have to have one.
No?
Brendan? We could include Brendan on this one if you like, as our fourth.
There you go.
Okay, so resolve Mayor Feeblecorn, Councillors Basarowicz and Horbis be authorized to attend the Inclusion Selkirk Golf Tournament at the Selkirk Golf and Country Club in Selkirk, Manitoba on August 22nd, 2024, and myself and Brendan will attend it to make the first.
Can I have a mover, please? Sandra, second Scott. All in favor? So moved.
Okay, so the next is
Just
the...
in case somebody else can't make it, though, somebody else can come. right?
Exactly, once you've registered the number.
Sue or somebody like that,
Exactly.
Or Kevin or something.
Yep. So the East Beaches Fire and Rescue, this is our, the open house for the East Beaches. We're bringing it to your attention, but it's on the same day as the Selkirk Parade this year. And unfortunately, it's conflicting, but the information is available for any persons that may not be able to go to the parade, or if they were able to attend the parade for a period of time. It's only on for 2 hours, 2.5 hours approximately. And so it's on Saturday, July 13th, from 11 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. And the doors are, and it's at the East Beaches Fire Hall. And it will be an open house for all of the residents to attend. So we have a resolution that we've put the names down. We could put down
Council?
council and
Yeah.
just leave it open for any council
Sure.
members that might be able to make it, as opposed to doing a restrictive kind of a resolution.
I was just gonna make a comment that maybe after the parade's over, it's unfortunate it conflicts with they on the same day, but maybe after the parade's over, that if it's done early, that we would scoot up there too, or
I
whatever.
don't think so, I don't think,
No.
what time's the parade start?
I believe at 9.
At 9, it won't be over by the time you get, it's over at 1 o'clock, I don't know why it's over, so it starts at,
1:30 it says over.
oh yeah, over, yeah. So,
So there might be an opportunity to make it.
Even if it's a couple of us or something,
Yeah.
somebody, like, I hope they realize that we've already made a commitment to the.
Yes,
but
they do.
okay.
and we'll make sure that they do further as part of this. So, resolve Mayor Feeblecorn and council be authorized to attend East Beaches Fire and Rescue Open House at the East Beaches Fire Hall on July 13th, 2024.
Moved by Scott, second by Dave, all in favor? So carried.
Okay, thank you. And so the next is the landfill requirements webinar. So this is a webinar being hosted by AMM, and it's on July 4th, which is next week. And what I'm suggesting is that I think it'd be a good seminar, mainly because we're dealing with a lot of issues around upgrading our landfill and just understanding some of the new requirements. I think it's worthwhile for any council members that might be interested. We can register us. It's on a Microsoft Teams meeting, so you can do it from home, or you could do it in the office here, and we can set it up here as well.
Philip?
I've also shared this meeting with our landfill operators, staff, and definitely our manager of waste and water and waste, solid waste services.
The reason I answered it was the mayor, but she pocketed that out.
Okay.
She doesn't even have any pockets. Yeah, you were saying before that you were gonna set it up in here, right?
So I'll set it up here for council, so if the council's interested, we could just pass a resolution, leave it open for any council members that are able to attend.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll read out the landfill webinar. So resolved, Mayor Feeblecorn and council be authorized to attend the Association of Manitoba Municipalities Landfill Requirements webinar on July 4th, 2024.
Do you have a mover? Rob, second by Dave. All in favor? Opposed? Carried.
And so the next is the annual Biz Parade. That's on July 13th, same time as the open house for the East Beaches Fire and Rescue. And we will be registering a float as usual, and as I understand it, some council members will be driving the float and some will be walking along, passing out candy and so forth. So this is our yearly event, and we have a resolution to move forward. And right now we've identified just Councillor Strang and Mayor Feeblecorn. Is there other members? Should we say all of council again?
I would say it that way, if one of us can go, we can just go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
I need to know someone who will commit to driving.
Oh, that's right. We need to know who will be driving the truck.
I'll drive if nobody else wants to. Dave?
I think
I'll drive.
Councillor Sutherland was planning to go to the East Beaches, so this might be an opportunity if you drive, and
Okay.
maybe an opportunity to split up. Okay. So we know that Councillor Horvis will be driving the truck, and so we'll have Public Works get it ready as in previous years. So resolve, Mayor Feeblecorn and council be authorized to attend the Selkirk Biz Annual Parade in Selkirk, Manitoba on July 13th, 2024.
Can I have a mover, please? Sandra, second Scott. All in favor? Carried.
Okay, thank you. So now we move on to new and other business, Mr. Chair.
Yes?
And so this is dealing with the Red River Basin Commission. It's our membership fees. And so I wanted to bring this to your attention that we have the letter from the Red River Basin. It's based on our annual contributions, and it's based on our population. And this year, our 2024 bill will be $3,133.18, which is slightly a 1% increase for 2024.
Okay, questions, anyone? Scott?
So that's a 1% increase in their levy plus our increase in population.
Correct.
Yeah.
Anyone else? No. Okay, so
Resolved, council authorize the renewal of membership for Red River Basin Commission in the amount of $3,133.18.
The mover for Sandra, second Dave. All in favor? So carried.
Okay, thank you. So the next item on the agenda, Mr. Chair, is the information related with a subdivision that came forward as part of a request to purchase land from the RM. This is the old railhead. And the applicant, after some further discussions, and came and made a presentation, future, and came in and made a presentation, said that they would sell off a part of theirs and let us consolidate on the part of the parcels, so that as opposed to buying the railbed just for their own purposes. If you'll see on the map here, and that kind of explains it better, is that what you'll see is they own that little, like it's kind of an L shape on the top part, and the top, and this other piece of land is RM land. So this would allow us to consolidate all that and join up while they would acquire the other. So as part of the trade and as part of the acquisition costs, they're paying for all the development fees, like permit fees and subdivisions and so forth. And we base it on the price that was negotiated and for the amount that we're acquiring and the amount that they're acquiring. So they'll be able to square this off, be able to use it as part of where they already have a driveway crossing this rail bed. And so this will just further authorize that, and then we'll have a road and access for that other property. And so they had left us a deposit of $5,000, but after looking at what the reduced rate would be, it would be for $2,856. So we would be leaving them the rest of the funds. So originally the $5,000 deposit was for 50% as a deposit, but now at the price, we'll be returning them a part of the deposit back.
50% back of the deposit.
No, we'll be returning them approximately 50%.
Questions, Scott?
So are we required to do the consolidation of what would have been considered his driveway and the rail bed that we're keeping? Or is he paying for that?
He's paying for the consolidation of his property, and then we have ownership of the rest anyways.
Okay, so
If we
if
just,
I heard you correctly, then the lot that's beside his original property is also ours?
correct.
The triangle is ours,
Yeah,
right?
so we would need to do consolidation of those three, and then would it be a buildable lot?
It could be considered a buildable lot. We'll have to take a look at the lot and see what are the advantages of selling it or keeping it, or where the challenges are.
So, Mr. Chair, can I ask the administration to take a look at that and then report back to the council later and see what the options are?
Sure. Let's have
Yes, sir. Yep, we'll report back.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so
Thank
for
you.
this. So what we have is a resolution to move forward on this. Where,
We're bringing that back, right?
I'll bring back information on the consolidation and sale of the land.
Okay.
We'll have to get council's approval to declare it surplus anyways.
One final question on this, just on Scott's note there. Do we know total of acres once everything's consolidated then? In relation to him saying, is it a buildable lot, do we know how many acres it will be consolidated
I
into?
think that's what they're gonna have to. look
Okay,
at.
that's fine, if that's what you're gonna find out, I thought you might know off the top
And
here.
there's access to that lot too, right?
Yeah, we should have access off. of
You don't have to do that now, Mr.
Yeah.
Chair.
Okay.
You don't want
I think
to-
he
that's-
said
I'm
that.
good, I thought we knew, but
Yeah.
I can wait for the information.
Okay, so I'll read the resolution if you're okay with that, Mr. Chair.
Yeah.
So whereas in 2020, Mr. Fuchek submitted a request to purchase a portion of the abandoned railway in front of his property owned by the Arm of St. Clements to be consolidated with his property, and whereas Council deemed these lands as surplus lands and authorized the sale to Mr. Fewchuk for $11,424 plus GST with a 50% deposit. And whereas in 2021, Mr. Fewchuk made the 50% deposit of $5,712. And whereas in March 2024, the affiliated subdivision file number S24-3041 was approved with conditions by council, with a condition indicating that Mr. Fewchuk would give a portion of his lands to the Arms St. Clements, reducing Mr. Fewchuk's original purchase price. Therefore, be it resolved, council approve the surplus lands cost reduction from $11,424 plus GST to $2,856 plus GST. And further be it resolved that $2,713.20 GST included the difference of the 50% deposit and the cost reduction be held as a deposit for the RM of St. Clements to draw upon from as necessary for costs incurred with the subdivision and any remaining balances to be returned to Mr. Fewchuk upon registration of the subdivision.
Can I have a mover, please? Scott? Second, Sandra. All in favor? So carried.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mayor. So the next item on the agenda, this has to do with the Grand Marais Recreation Association property. And so what this is, there was an agreement made with the Grand Marais Recreation Association to carve out a small parcel for the fiber optic vault that's and a little shed that was going to be built in there. They needed that, and they needed to secure that land for their own purposes, and it was parceled off to be given to Valley Fiber or FHW, who's representing that. What ended up happening was afterwards, it was discovered that the agreement that was made between GMRA and Valley Fiber, the problem was that the ice rink was still partially on that little section of land. And so this is to create a covenant that they cannot build anything where the ice rink is, anything beyond what they were intending, which they don't have an issue with, as well as to have an easement so that the ice rink doesn't have to be moved.
Scott?
And there's no towers going up. I think
There are no
that's
towers, this is
the
just
other
a shed
thing.
and a box
Yeah.
inside for fiber optic connectivity.
And it's not going to interfere with anything else with the community center after?
No, it shouldn't interfere at all.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so with that is whereas subdivision file number S23-3031 requires a development agreement, restricted covenant agreement, and whereas the developer has signed both the agreements as their confirmation of acceptance, therefore be it resolved, the development agreement and the restricted covenant agreement dated June 18th, 2024 between the RM St. Clements and DIF Southern Manitoba Fiber Limited Partnership be accepted, and the mayor and the CAO be authorized to sign and seal same.
Can I have a mover, please? Dave? Second, Scott. All in favor? So carried.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The next item on the agenda is the request for municipal property. And so what we have here is a request for use, of municipal property. And this is for a wedding venue to occur on municipal land. And, oops. Let me just bring that up again. I apologize for that, Mr. Chair. Request for use, here we go. And so, Leona Malstead would like to use 11 Park Drive for a wedding ceremony, and it's on October 5th of 2024. They followed up with email and conversations that have been occurring with our manager of administrative services and administration and customer services. And this group of They've identified where they plan to have this and the wedding spot, and they will have a tent, and they plan to observe all issues. One of the things was requested of them is that they, because they're looking for an extension of the noise bylaw to 1 a.m. in the morning, and the gates, they want to be able to use this site. We requested that they also contact the property owners. The applicant, the requester said, well, legally they're only required to go to 150 feet, and there's no properties there. So they've said, well, we don't think we need it, and but council can still dictate for them, because I think we feel, as the administration, it's reasonable to contact any adjoining property owners when they're having any kind of an event like this. So the applicant has said that if council approves it, then they'll follow through, if that's what council wishes. We don't anticipate being that far of a distance that there should be an issue. The other option is you could lay it over until they contact the individual. But they wanted it to come forward to council and say that they didn't feel they needed to contact. Although our administrator was very clear, you should contact the adjoining property owners.
Questions, Scott?
Okay, this is more questions of counselors that might be a little more familiar with this area. So I'm assuming this is kind of in the recreational area, is that what they're looking at here? Because it says,
It's in White Sands.
It's the white, is it the tennis courts?
No,
No?
because it says they want a gate open at the volleyball courts. So I'm, like, the reason why I'm asking is, how are they going to access the beach? Where are they gonna park? Like, if they are using some of the recreation area, then it makes more sense to me. Like, that's kind of the things that just popped up in my mind on those visions.
Well, most of this here where this court is, I think there is a yellow gate there. I remember seeing that gate. Do you remember that gate, Dave?
no, I'm trying to get bearings here.
Yeah, can you, well, it is up on the map, isn't
This one, would you like to see a Google map
it? Sure.
of that area?
Whatever map you use.
Okay, I was looking at Shamrock. This is,
It's just south of,
Yeah.
it's on West Street as you go,
Yeah.
okay.
There is a yellow gate there. but
Yeah,
I didn't-
now I know what they're talking about.
Yeah, and then I think it's just, and then in front of that is to the lake. But,
I was thinking Shamrock, because there was
yeah.
a thing for.
But I don't know, I think they should still ask some people around there or something.
Well, I agree with that too, but I'm kind of worried about
19 Shamrock Place.
Yeah.
The parking, like.
the parking, how are they getting on the beach?
Where's it actually taking
Are they
place?
walking in there? or-
Off of West Street, eh?
Yeah.
Shamrock's got nothing to do with it.
and do they indicate how many people they're expecting?
So it's off of West Street here. As you can see, there might be gates right here.
Yeah.
Looks like.
Yeah, and that's where they got the volleyball thing on too. I was thinking, okay,
And they're gonna need their own liability insurance. It's another thing, because it says.
Yeah, I've got that in the resolution.
Yeah, I see that. With respects to your liability, does not extend to all property owners by the RM. However, as the group, if they're not affiliated with the RM, would suggest requesting proof of coverage. I would agree with that. for
You
sure.
almost think that this volleyball court is at Lakeshore Heights. It's the one right on the corner there. That's where it
Oh, yeah,
is.
that's West Street. It is West Street.
Yeah,
That's why I was,
yeah.
I had White Sands, but I'm looking at Shamrock Place, but it's
Yeah.
where it makes the bend.
So you'd have to park along that road, but I would imagine everybody around here but yeah, they all have visitors too. Yeah, it is right on,
So all
actually,
this is RM. See, everything in there is RM.
It's right by the water.
Yes.
it's more like it's in Lakeshore Heights
Yeah.
than it is in White
Yeah.
Sands. So are the people from Lakeshore gonna be upset? They gotta ask them, right?
Yes.
They should get in touch with that association in Lakeshore Heights.
If they don't make contact, Tyler's gonna, his phone's gonna be ringing off the hook. What is going on here?
Yeah,
So maybe the best thing to do is if I could suggest, since this is until later, we could bring it back for the next meeting in council. Until then, we can pass, the council instructs them to contact Lakeshore Heights group,
Yeah.
as well as any adjoining neighbors to make sure.
yeah, for
And
sure.
that information can go up to the next council meeting.
And need for liability insurance.
Yeah, and maybe some kind of letter from, should request a letter from Lakeshore to make sure it's not that, oh yeah, I talked to Joe over here and he said it's okay.
Well,
So,
Usually they sign, but.
Usually they sign a letter that they,
yeah, okay.
and I think we still wanna know, like, are you parking on our parking? Are you parking on the side of the road? What are you doing? Because if they're parking on the side of the road, we might get phone calls about that,
Yeah,
right?
well, there's no RM, there'll be no place to park there because
And
it's
then-
just the road.
Maybe, like, how many people, like Councilor Boulanger brought up, how many people are we expecting? Just so we know kinda, like, if they all plan to park inside there, maybe it's not as big an issue unless it rains.
Can't drive there.
If it's a 50-person wedding, it's gonna be a big difference if they say we're expecting 180, like, that's a lot of cars.
Yeah. Yeah, because everybody won't be living in those subdivisions. People have to come from the city or something. Sandra, you had something?
I just was thinking of emergency vehicles getting through, that if something ever, if they ever have to get emergency vehicles through. And the other thing is, we all know at nighttime sound travels, so I totally agree with our CAO in, even though, contacting the associations in both the areas there, but, contacting all the
Yeah, they have to.
properties, yeah.
They have to get some.
And usually people submit that in with their application, that they have gone to the neighbors and with their address and with the signature, so.
We'll communicate that this was discussed with council. Council is requesting for a parking plan, as well as communications with local association, as well as the joint property owners,
Number of guests.
and the number of guests that will be attending this one. Okay, so we'll bring that back. So our next item is the asphalt crack sealing. And so this is our yearly process, yearly process of going about and sealing up any cracks that appear throughout as part of our regular maintenance of our asphalt roads. And we went out to 2 invited bidders. The lowest one is SM Industries, and Public Works is recommending going with SM Industries. And this year we're anticipating the cost of approximately $77,779.95, 45 cents.
Dave?
Yeah. Do we know what we had last year? Was it the same outfit, SM, or SM, whatever?
I can't remember, I think it's gone back and forth in the past. We've also had Precision, I think.
So like this is 15% cheaper,
Yes.
so that's a bonus for a change.
Just wondered how it works. If we have used them before, then they'd know if they're any good or not. So I'm just curious, because
Yeah. I don't think that, since these were invited bidders, the Public Works is already pretty satisfied with it.
okay.
Scott?
I just wanna acknowledge that it's nice to see that, costs come back down, considering how much they went up during and after the pandemic. I think that's, you know, a testament to some of the people that we work with and contractors.
Okay, thank you, Councilor. So
Okay.
the council is ready. I'll read out the resolution for this.
Hey, Glenn? Your hands are dirty.
Okay. So, resolved, council accept the recommendation of the Public Works Project Technician authorizing the Public Works project technician to award the asphalt crack sealing to Precision Joint Sealing Inc. for $3.95 per meter plus applicable taxes estimated at $77,779.45 plus GST, and complete all required crack seal within the RF.
Moved by Dave, second by Glenn. All in favor? So
I was rubbing my eye, by the way, but I'm good with that.
Snooze you lose.
Is that a quote?
I was.
Okay, so the next item on the agenda, Mr. Chair, is the asphalt patching. And this one again is another one of our yearly contract submissions. We do two parts. One is the asphalt patching and as well as some overlay work or some excavated overlay work where we maybe replaced a culvert and associated with that. So we went out for pricing. The lowest has been Butamix Paving Limited. And Butamix is definitely significantly lower than the other ones when it comes out to the estimated overall pricing. It was a very competitive price. And most of that was because of the overlay. We don't have a lot of excavated overlay work this year. And so that also saves us a fair amount of money.
All right. Any questions, anyone?
Okay. So, resolve council accept the recommendations of the Public Works Project Technician at authorizing the CAO to authorize the award of asphalt patching to Butamix Paving Limited for $200 per ton for overlay patching and $500 per ton for excavated patch, plus applicable taxes for asphalt overlays, estimated at $85,600 plus GST to complete the asphalt patching within the allotted budget.
Moved by Scott, second by Rob. All in favor? So carried.
The next item on the agenda, Mr. Chair, is related to the daycare yard maintenance. So as part of our agreement with the province of Manitoba, we provided 15 years for a $4.5 million building, basically 15 years of rent-free for daycare services. We provided the land as well as we were required to keep the maintenance of the yard and snow clearing and grass cutting. We've gone in there, and this year there was some concern always to, whether we use our own resources or not. And taking a look at our own resources, especially within their area, it requires a lot of work by
Paperwork, like to see if those people are qualified to work with children.
that is part of it, as well as the work for cutting the grass. You need trimmers as opposed to a grass cutter, so it's easier to just organize it with gellers. And we're at a much more higher level of grass cutting because it's for the children playing in there. And so this will be done at the same level as to the RMs. And we would just extend the contract with gellers at $507 a month.
So, oh, sorry, go ahead.
They don't want lawnmower, like push lawnmowers in there? Is it for reasons of gasoline or?
It's just the design of it. There's hills and so forth.
Like push more, you can't push more?
Yeah, I think they would be push
Well,
more.
they weed whacked the whole thing, it said in here. That's all.
There's quite a bit of grass.
There's a lot of grass in there,
So-
weed whack it all.
No.
It doesn't do a good of a job as a push more.
No, they do push more, but then there's a lot of edging
Got it.
and a lot of work around that entire yard,
Yeah.
mainly because of the way that
Yep.
it's got a little racetrack built in there for
Yeah.
the kids.
Scott?
Well, if I'm reading this correctly, it's $507.04 for a cut once a week.
Correct.
So that's like $125 a week. So if we sent our guys in there for 2 guys for half a day, we're probably saving money.
We are saving money compared to using our own staff.
So,
And this is, so every time it snows, they'll be in there too. This is for winter and summer, or is it? just
Winter,
for
this
grass?
is just right now for grass.
Okay,
And the winter, we are clearing the snow on the driveway. And we didn't clear the snow inside there. I think the grass cutting was different, but I think the daycare staff take care of shoveling for the play area.
okay. So, do you have a
Yes, we do.
resolution?
Sandra has a question.
Oh, sorry, Sandra.
Oh,
Dave,
sorry.
I had a question too.
Hey, go ahead.
I have a question. Do they have to have a police check going inside the grounds there?
They should.
Okay.
A check to see if
Check
anybody can be
through
near
the
children.
RCMP or
Yeah,
Good
usually,
for dealing
yeah.
children?
Yeah, the last thing you want
That'll
is,
be the responsibility of Gellers,
yeah.
not us.
Do we have to mention it together, or?
We'll mention it verbally, we'll make sure that
I think it's just something so it covers us too, that as we're sending them in there.
Dave, you have a question?
Yeah, I'm guessing for here, what is the contract that ends up to the month of September? And is that it, or is it October? I'm just curious of like, the grass season.
How long do our grass cutting contract go till, about September, October?
Like, in the growing season, once a week I get it, but into, even in the hot days in July and
Slows
August,
down.
you're cutting your grass once every 3 weeks. I'm not going against this, but they get, they're earning their money when it's, once a week, but into, I'm gonna say for sure, August, September, it's once a month probably.
I think they do cut back, because I drive by here every day almost, and in the summer when it gets hot and not growing, they're not here.
No, because there's no need to. But I get it, that's their contract, we pay them so much a month regardless, but it's worth it now, but I'm still okay with it. Just a
It's something we can look
Just
into
a
a little bit
comment.
more as to,
Yeah.
when we get into these type of contracts, and it's a good point, whether we need to have like a service level agreement on those saying, that it should be maintained, so they can't just turn around and not cut and still collect.
Well, I thought someone mentioned that it was once a week. Okay.
It is right,
Yeah.
that's what the contract states, but what I'm hearing is that there may be times when it's dry and nothing's growing, they may not show up. I think they do sometimes, they just whiz through.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's a contract, so they're gonna get $500 if they do it once a month or 4 times a month. Just a comment,
Dave, would it be like a contractor doing a contract for snow clearing? If it's a busy snowy winter, he gives you a price, he's gonna be busy, but if it's a slow winter and he gives you that price, he's gonna get paid still. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like this, is it not?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, this is a little bit different because you're requesting once a week. In a snow clearing contract, it's whenever it snows. So sometimes if it doesn't snow for a month or two, they're still getting paid.
Well, sometimes even in snow contracts, you gotta, come and sand all the time too, right? Or
True.
put salt on for ice or whatever. So there's probably a maintenance part to also. Anything else? Heather, did you find anything?
Yes.
No?
Basically, our contract, like he said, this is for the next 4 months. But it would already be less that because he sent me this on June 13th, so,
Okay.
yeah.
All right, we have,
So it should take us to October.
Yeah.
because like I say, they're August, September, October, it's still probably once a month, maybe twice at the most. Unless you had a rainy season, but I don't know. Just a comment, that's all, I'm good with.
Okay, so resolved, Geller's Yard Maintenance Contract be extended to include the East Selkirk Early Learning Center at a cost of $507.04 per month.
Can I have a mover, please? Scott, second. Dave, all in favor? So carried.
Okay, the next item on the agenda, Mr. Chair, is the signage request. And so what this has to do with is There's been a request for various signs at different locations, and our Manager Protective Services has been managing signs for road signs and other signs. Has investigated this and is recommending the following signs to be put up. The first is the installation of 2 deer crossing signs on 2 Mile Road near the popular Forest Lodge campground. And this has been brought to our attention multiple times to myself as well as to our Protective Services office. There's been some deer. There's deer crossing and the amount of traffic that's on that road. And they're requesting for a deer crossing sign just to advise individuals, and it's on our municipal road.
So that's 2 signs, not just 2 deer crossing.
No, not 2 deer.
Yes, Glenn?
Just the signs, or do we have to put like crossings in, or do we have to put stripes now, like
No,
lines? so
just,
we know where to cross?
just the signs. No, the deer usually don't. So it'll be just, it's more of a warning sign that the deers are within the area, because there's been lots of close calls identified by the local resident. And our Protective Services officer is investigating and is in agreement with putting those signs on.
Well, I guess if he looked at it and he figures it's justifiable, then it should be. Scott?
Can you guys help me with my bearings on this road 74 and
This is by Highway 4.
Just over here.
North of Highway 4.
Just over here. Go to 2 Mile Road here, and go straight up.
the, is, I guess the question is that must be a very busy road.
There's a fair amount of traffic on that one.
With the campground that's there?
Okay, makes sense.
And the other are 2 slow down children at play on Ferry Road South. And this is regarding through complaints for vehicles that have been traveling at very high rates of speed, just to inform people that there are children at play here.
You don't have any question?
It's fair south of the level. It's a Tyler,
Tyler's,
That go ahead, please.
he kind of looked at all these situations.
Exactly.
Tyler's recommending it,
correct, these are all
Okay.
recommendations.
and Tyler's recommending it.
Yeah. And then a stop sign at the intersection of 74 and the South Service Road for 44, for PTH 44 and South Service Road. And the intersection is also no signage when entering the intersection, even though it is a T intersection. So they just want, he's recommending a stop sign installed. These are the pictures, as you can see, the T intersection, just placing a stop sign, letting people know you should stop before just turning, not just automatically turn.
Okay.
And that's the location of
All right.
it. Okay, so what we have is the request resolved that council approve the following signage installations. 2 deer crossing signs to be installed on 2 Mile Road near Poplar Forest Lodge. 2 slow down children playing signs on Ferry Road South near the midpoint of the road. And a stop sign installed at the intersection of Road 74 North and the PTH South Service Road.
Can I have a mover? Glenn? Second, Dave? All in favor? So carried.
Okay, so the next item on the agenda, Mr. Chair, is related with the Gull Lake Ratepayers Association. What they are is they're having their fall supper on August 31st, 2024, and a family picnic day on August 3rd, 2024. They're requesting that we waive the tipping fees for both of these days for them to bring their garbage to the transfer station.
I believe we do this every year for them, and anybody who does functions like this. Any questions on this? Sarah?
When we're doing donations, I would just make it a point that that's always put in there, that we waive the tipping fees, because that is part of the donation through our fund.
Every time we're at a Gull Lake function or something, they always mention the RN, and they always talk about stuff like this. We're really good that way. I
That's
think,
good.
anyways.
That's good. Thank you for that.
Okay, can I,
So,
get a resolution?
whereas a request has been received from the Gull Lake Ratepayers Association to have the tipping fees at the Gull Lake Transfer Station waived on August 3rd, 2024 for their annual picnic, family picnic, and August 31st, 2024 for the fall supper. Therefore be it resolved, council waive the tipping fees for the Gull Lake Ratepayers Association on August 3rd, 2024 and August 31st, 2024 for their community events.
Will we be letting the dump know? Will we notify the dump?
Correct.
Okay. Okay,
Transfer station, yes.
moved by Sandra, second by Glenn. All in favor? So carried.
Okay, so the next item on the agenda, Mr. Chair, is Councillor Strang's request to discuss the council's summer and meeting schedule for both COW and our council meetings. So for the month of July, bring up a very good point. One of the meeting requests I have for discussion in camera, Councillor Strang, is to have the meeting with the RMLE St. Paul in discussions with the CAO there. I was waiting to find out about that meeting before I scheduled the next COW meeting. And so what we're looking at is July the 9th, because it was recommended that we look on a Tuesday for that meeting. So July the 9th is what we're looking at recommending in the afternoon. On July the 9th for a meeting with the Arm of East St. Paul.
Would you have COW in the morning then, or what?
Well, we were looking at probably COW on the meeting of the 16th.
Okay,
And I think the 23rd is the regular meeting because we only have one meeting in July. And the meetings in August is the same thing, we only have one meeting in August.
That's correct, yeah.
And that's on the 20th, as I recall.
I'm just pulling up the schedule here.
Because it's usually the third week.
Yep.
so there would be no COW meeting in August then?
It would
We-
be August 27th.
Or 27th, sorry. August 27th would be the next meeting. Now, there's quite a bit of gap in there. Depending on what happens at the next COW meeting, we might squeeze in another COW meeting. Because we did talk about having more regular COW meetings.
Isn't there only one regular meeting in July also?
Yes, only one regular meeting in July. So we only have one meeting on the 23rd in July.
So there's
But
some,
we're looking at one meeting, an additional meeting in July with the council from the Arm of St. Clements, or Arm of
East
East
St.
St. Paul.
Here.
They are recommending we meet there.
so East St. Paul in the afternoon on the 9th, Rob?
Oh, July 9th, afternoon
Yeah.
at St. Paul,
And what
okay.
time?
Well, I don't think you know yet, do you?
Sit down.
They're having, we're doing it in the afternoon, so I would probably think after lunch. But I'll be clarifying right now, if our council is okay with July the 9th, the CAO from the Arm of East St. Paul is discussing tonight as well with her council to see if it all works out. If it does, I'll communicate to everyone that that meeting's a go. If it doesn't, I'll try to squeeze it in for the 16th. I know that they're keen on wanting the meeting between the two councils as soon as possible. So we'd only have the choice, and I think they're the same boat as us. They're having their regular council meeting on the 23rd.
And
Is
this
16th right now is cow?
16th is
Is right
COW.
now COW. So we got 9, 16, and 23rd are the 3 dates.
Yep.
And I might switch one or two
So we
around.
want to put the 13th of August to COW too, just to.
Yeah, I
16th
We could
is
secure-
I
9:30,
would put it in
Deepak?
there.
16th is 9:30, or?
16th would be 9:30.
Okay.
And we could leave August the 13th open for a COW meeting.
Will you have anybody there for the COW on the 16th?
Yes, Public Works.
Okay.
And the intent was that as we have the cows, we're going to bring in additional people. One of those additional people, as you saw in today's email, was the intent was the next cow meeting, we were going to have some discussions with economic development.
Yes.
Since then, You have been informed that our economic development officer is retired. I'll have some discussions as part of my HR discussion with you to give you an update on what I'm proposing and what I'm looking at with economic development for the next level.
And
Yes, sir.
are we gonna be discussing with Gary anyone about his retirement today? I'm just curious. He just
We'll discuss Gary's retirement
In camera.
Okay, thank you.
It's an HR matter, so.
Thanks. Okay.
Okay, so if those dates are fine, Madam Council Member?
I probably won't be there till July 9th, I'll see, probably don't.
If at all possible, even if you could zoom in, we'll be able to zoom from there probably.
Okay.
We'll see if we can set you up. It'll be good to be part, at least if you participate in something, someone in the dialogue. I think this will be a fairly monumental
Yeah.
meeting, I'm hoping.
Okay, wait, wait.
I think I'll still be at Hecla.
Okay. All right.
So, does that address all your questions,
Yes,
Madam
just-
Council Member?
Yes, thank you, CEO. Yeah, no, I just have my other job asking me, and I have them on hold right now, so I can go back tomorrow. Dates, thank you very much.
So, moving on from there, what we have is the accounts and financial statements. And this might be a good time, Heather, if you could tell Kevin that he can come in for the cow meeting discussion. I'll put him at the beginning of the agenda, then we can cover all the other items. So we can shoot for him for, let's say, 3:30
Today?
today. Yeah. And so, I think once Kevin's gone, there'll be lots more to discuss. We've got a fairly extensive in-camera discussion as well. So, the next item is the closed list of accounts, Mr. Chair, and that's resolved council approved the June 25th, 2024 list of accounts, check numbers 24000765 to 24000875 in the amount of $839,892.30 for payment.
Does anyone have any questions? Yes, Sandra.
I just had one question, and it is check number 2400824. It's for Manitoba Hydro. And all the other amounts are like, the highest one is like Colville Road was $151. There's one here for Strathcona Road for over $3,400 and some dollars, and all the other ones are like $44, $28.
Grow up.
I'm looking, Sandra.
I just see it, I just found it, sort of threw me off as a higher number.
When Kevin comes, tell him we're cookies.
Definitely.
I got that for you.
This is 2400844, did you say?
824.
824?
It's under Manitoba Hydro, regular, I
It
think.
could be our treatment plant, let me just look it up.
Does it give a location? You say Sill Road?
It says Strathcona Road,
Oh,
but I just found it a higher amount than all the other rest, than the rest of them.
1147 Strathcona is the treatment plant.
For the treatment plant.
maybe they missed a reading, and so it was a double reading or something.
There might be some extra because of all the work that's being done at the treatment plant right now.
I just thought it very high, so.
Or as they've been working, we've had to do some hydro work, there might be some hydro costs. But if you'd like some more detail, I can certainly get from Public Works some more detail and send you an email to that effect.
That would be fantastic, thank you.
You're welcome. We put that down as a task for Mr. Joshi.
To do what? I'm just
This
reading the
study.
bill right here.
If you could put down that we'll report back on the bill and the details of why it's higher.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, so, if there's no other questions?
No, I don't think so, no.
Has it been passed? I don't think it's been
No.
passed.
No, it hasn't been passed yet. No.
So, but I've read it.
Okay. All in favor?
Did we gotta pass her in a
We
second?
have
Oh, sorry.
I'll move it.
Second.
Rob, and second Glenn. All in favor? Passed.
Okay, the next part is the financial statements. Resolved that the May 31st, 2024 financial statements be adopted as presented.
Do you have a mover, please? Dave, second Sandra. All in favor? Passed.
No grants today outside of the tipping fees, which will be, and it's an important thing that Councillor Strang brought up, is one of the things that we'll be working with Brendan on, is to take a review of all our grants and to all the groups, and then consolidate all these different things that council identified as part of through the budget process that we need to recognize. Not only the funding grants we give, but also the insurance, all these other things to recognize a total amount of all the in-kind work.
Yeah.
So if that's okay, then what I'll move to is the communication for information. I'll bring up the very first one, which is from Municipal and Northern Relations, related with Mr. Fiera's McKay Road infrastructure, which is complaining about McKay Road. And the province has responded back to him, which has been copied to us. So it's part of the agenda, and the province has said this is a municipal task, and so please deal with the municipality as to your concerns about municipal roads. The other one I wanted to bring to your attention, where the DFA gravel road resolution, and this was the resolution that was passed, and it's gone to AMM. AMM has received, as you know, that this resolution was partnered with multiple municipalities in the southeastern part of the province specifically, and many of those municipalities submitted it, and AMM will be taking it to their board for discussion at the end of this month. And so they've received all of those. AMM has kept me apprised of any ones that they've also received. The other is the Plan 2050 public notice. So this is the Metro Region Plan 2050, that the hearings will be occurring in July, and you'll get invitations to those, as there's been reminders for members' attendance in July 25th and August 8th for those who are not already done so, any public consultation and discussions. I can certainly update you in the camera as to some of the things happening with that. Yes, madam.
I had a note here on clarification on 9.2.3. That was with the Manitoba Transportation Infrastructure, the access permit extension on 202.
Yes, this is for a private,
It's for the new subdivision,
yes.
yeah, north of Dunning.
Okay. That's why it sort of threw me off there. So I just thought I'll ask for
It's
clarification.
within, Raleigh's within their control zone, so they stay.
Thank you.
Sorry, that's your.
Thank you. Any help is always appreciated.
Anybody else have anything they want to talk about, Scott?
9.2.1. Just looking at this operating grant that we received from the province. And just, I want to ask administration if I'm looking at this correctly. So technically what we have been doing for our roads is a 1 mil, which is about $900,000 this year.
Correct.
And then we were using this 293,000 for that. If you look at page 3, that was kind of being used in that reserve also.
Correct. That's also going towards a reserve towards a $1 million per year towards.
So it's
putting
about
in-
1.2 that's going into that reserve.
Yes.
this year now. So there has been a bit of an increase compared to what we were putting in before.
Yes.
So before it was 900 and something?
I think it was more like $1 million,
Yeah,
but now we're at 1.2.
So it'd be
It
another
is a
200,000.
little more going in there.
Well,
So it says here, St. Clements will be receiving a total of 1.422656 million, is that, that's? Huh?
yeah, it's a 20% or 2% increase from previous years, which translates to about $27,000. Out of that $27,000 approximately, we received, that they took out, because it's based on per capita, and so on the per capita, the new Stats Canada numbers were adjusted for 2021. And so we have to pay back $1,400 from 2023 contribution. So we're getting about 26,000 and change, or 25,000 and change, approximately increase from last year. This is a breakdown of how all that fund goes in, and then that's built into our budget. And what Councillor Spice is talking about is that part of this money is used to go directly towards our hard surface roads
Right.
for the maintenance and replacement. And so that's the $1.some million. We take the 1 mil rate and the funding from this. Some of this money is also used towards grants that we hand out to all the various communities. So that's where all these, this is their unconditional funding.
It used to be segregated out a lot more now.
Yeah, okay.
Basketed. In the basket.
basket case.
Yeah, so here, it's in here, it's $1,461.48 is what they said was an overpayment that they clawed back with the increase. So last year, we received $1,395.40, $1,395.40.66, when it should have been $393,579.18.
Anything else?
Okay, so that's the information from municipal relations. And the only other one is the municipal cybersecurity awareness that was identified. As you know, if you ever do get hacked, let us know as soon as possible. It's identified by our consultants. We have a fairly robust management, but these days, even our own IT people are getting worried about artificial intelligence and the ability to be a lot more sophisticated in their phishing attacks as well as any other attacks of trying to steal funds and monies. So if nothing else, Mr. Chair, we can move on to council reports.
Just one quick question. Mr. Administrator, when Kevin comes in at 3:30, is he going to be able to give us an update on where we're at with our road surfacing? We haven't talked about it for about a month, and I just want to know if you could ask him that.
Yeah.
You want to know on the
I'm
spot?
prepared.
Yeah,
I'm
just
prepared to
ask
ask
where
him
he's
tonight
at
just to
with
give us update on the
Yeah.
road servicing projects. I know that he's been getting he's already done the pricing, so I think it's probably getting ready to go
Okay.
out to the tendering for either design or completion.
I see
we
they're dust
know-
controlling today. They're illegal with dust control today, I saw it.
This is the fixing of the previously paved
No, no, I
roads.
know, I'm just.
Yeah.
on the-
Yeah, they've started dust control already. They've been finishing up on the gravel roads, and I think it's the warm weather has certainly helped compared to what we've been encountering. But even as bad as last weekend, there was some significant rates that come in every now and then. We know that the rains have definitely created a significant issue. And I can fill you in a little bit more on the in-camera what it's doing to other municipalities as well. So if we can go to council reports, Mr.
Sure.
Chair.
Scott?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. June the 12th, I attended the Red River Planning, it was actually a Teams meeting with BDO, as part of the MidSIP, is that the right short term for doing the review on Red River Planning? June the 15th, Gaynor Library, we had a short regular meeting and we got back to working on the strat plan. There's some movement moving forward on expansion. June the 18th, Association of Manitoba Municipalities, I attended the June district meeting with a number of council members. June the 19th, Red River Planning, we had our regular meeting. June the 20th, we had Northeast Red Watershed regular meeting. And June the 25th, which was this morning, we had a second interview with BDO for the MidSIP organizational review. If there's any questions, I'll try and answer them.
The library, that's moving along, it's getting,
What happened at the strategic planning session was more of a discussion about moving forward on the expansion. So there's been two committees put together. One is funding, and the other one's going to be a building committee. And I'm on the building committee.
that space that planning had there in the library, is there anyone in there now using that?
Yes. They are called, it's been rented till the end of the year. Huddle,
Okay.
if you've heard of them, they do work with life skills, like helping out adults get back into being employable and that kind of stuff.
So that money's from that, would that go to the library or does that go to the town?
It goes to the library because this year we budgeted based on, we weren't gonna be doing expansion, so now we are doing expansion, so we had a little trouble with our budget because we are taking over all those costs. But now, with it being rented out, I think we're gonna be in a much better financial position than breaking even.
Thank you.
Any clarity on the cost split with our partners on the library? Has there been any new information provided?
That's been totally handed over to the administrations, so
Okay.
you might have to ask them.
Yeah, any new information, Mr. Administrator, on the library or on the budget, not the budget, but on the, excuse me, the split between the different partners?
It's still the same split, same costs that have been notified. There needs to be some more communication between the CAOs. We're looking at setting up a meeting. The CAO from Southbrook feels that the existing memorandum of understanding allows us to continue forward, but at this point, nothing has been signed and sealed as to our individual contributions. That will be something that we'll be discussing further, and we need some further information. I've had some discussions with the CAO from the Arm of St. Andrews. We are looking at having some discussions with the CAO. I wanted to give the CAO some time as he's been grieving a loss of a family member for the last little while, and I'll probably approach him within the month of July.
Okay, and a final question relating to that to Councillor Spicer. Because we don't know that information yet on the split between the partners, does that or will that hold up the expansion until we can come to an agreement on what this is all going to cost? Or is expansion going to move forward because we know what that amount's going to be extra that we got to pay to make that expansion happen?
I can answer that. We know what the exact amount
We know
will
what the
be.
amount-
Yeah.
We know exactly what the amount will be. It's just the documentation and everything that goes to support that, so that we can. Our requirement will be that this is a capital cost, so we'll probably have to have a public hearing
Okay.
in order to Since this wasn't part of our budget process, it will be something that we'll have to identify a source of funding and how we contribute that share for the investment and having equal shares. The agreement as to how the distribution of those funds, that's been worked out.
Okay.
Like, the formula more or less has been worked out as to how the different formula and how it'll move for the future. What needs to be further documented and for being open and transparent to our residents, and for my fiduciary responsibilities is to have the documented costs listed by the city of Selkirk and the library, so that then we can actually put that forward to our citizens and council
Okay.
as to how we move forward.
Thank you.
But before any building goes ahead or anything, the ownership will be all cleared up.
The ownership has been discussed, and the principle here is, on the ownership, it'll be 1/3, 1/3, 1/3 between St. Andrews, Selkirk, and the Isle of St. Clements as the original parties, but there will be no other divisional requirements. It's, everyone has an exact same voting and principal ownership.
How about
Go ahead.
the water?
How about the
They
start?
were, they're not really an owner of the building.
So they
No,
just
they
pay
just
So-
have to partner.
So there's two facets to this, as the CEO has said. One is capital, and that's the 1/3, 1/3, 1/3 with the three parties. And then the other one is ongoing operations. So essentially, both have been decided. But as the CEO has said, no job is over till the paperwork is done.
Yes, the devil's in the details.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Sandra?
I'm gonna jump the gun. I'm gonna be reporting, I missed my council report from last meeting. So I'm going back to May 30th. I attended I attended the South St. Clements Activity Center open house. And I know everybody, a lot of these have been reported on that everybody attended also, but May 31st, Red River North Tourism. I worked at the tourism at their plant sale that they have in Selkirk. I've never attended it before, as it's usually on when FCM is on, so since I didn't go this year, I went and worked that. I was totally amazed by the amount of people that actually go. People are wrapped around the building at Memorial Hall, so they must do very well. But it's one of the Red River North Tourism, it's one of the items that they promote for the city of Selkirk. June 1st, I went with the mayor to Marine Museum 50th anniversary kickoff. On June 2nd, I went to the Red River Basin Commission, our executive board meeting. Just wanted to update you that Ted he received $30 million at this time. And one of their projects is Soil Health Partnership. They have 1,100 crop consultants, which are farmers, and they're promoting them on how to farm more cleaner. They have Pepsi, General Mills, there's a couple of flour places that use from the grain. I think it's King Arthur, but some of them don't have export to Canada, so they will not be coming into our country, but Ted is trying to get them to expand into the Red River Basin. So right now he has Pepsi and General Mills on board, and he is working with them to move into Canada. So it's a program he would also like to offer the farmers north of the border. So I just thought that was very, very interesting. So on June 7th, had a North Chapter check signing and meeting with Rebecca. June 11th, a council meeting, and then June 12th, I attended our EMO yearly council exercise and training with Tyler. We're all signed off for the year, so that was with West St. Paul, East St. Paul, and the Arm of St. Clements. On June 15th, I attended with the mayor East Beach's Heritage Wing in Grand Marais. And I think we all got we got there and the power went out. So so we waited there for a while to see, but a lot of people were coming by from their cabins and saying there was no power. So I felt bad for them. They were honoring Lady Frida Johnson. And she's one of the first fisher women. And I think Heather sent that out to everybody,
Yeah.
the video of it. Yes. But they do have part of it in the museum. They do, and we couldn't even see because it was dark in the museum. There wasn't even any light. We were just using our phones to have a peek in there to see. But people, they had family come out from from Winnipeg, all down the USA on the East Coast, and even there was somebody there from Sweden that came out for it. So they were having a family gathering honoring their grandmother. What else here? Oh, June 18th, Councillor Spicer already acknowledged we were at AMM, June District meeting. And one thing I'm going to say there is I was very impressed with the meeting. Sometimes they're not that great, but I was really impressed with our new provincial government, of how they involved themselves, and they were just wanting to know what they can do for us. So I was impressed with their connection with everybody. June 19th, I attended with Councillor Corbis, Manitoba Chamber of Commerce Economic Development. We went up to Gimli and there was a tour. They were taking people to, they did Gimli one day, and the following day they were doing the city of Selkirk. And they had asked us if we were going for breakfast, to come into St. Clement's for breakfast, which we didn't know about. But we got on the phone with Councillor Boulanger, and he said, yeah, he was having everybody at his place. So our mayor attended, which was great. But he'll have more to maybe tell us on that. And on June 22nd, the Highland Gathering at Legacy Park, which a lot of us attended. We were there for the opening ceremonies, and it was nice to see everybody that came out for it. And it is slowly getting back, slowly that people are coming out. But they're saying they're having a problem with some of the bands that haven't been getting together and practicing, and some of the dancing groups are just starting to get back. So, and they were running a little late because all the younger dancers, they were having competition across at the schools. So, other than that, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandy. Rob?
Since our last meeting, the only thing I've had is the Chamber of Commerce did attend Hawthorne Estates for their get-together coffee. They had a whole bus tour that was traveling from venue to venue. They came to our place and they went to Selkirk to look at a bunch of, they went to the sewage treatment plant. They had a number of stops. So it was all business owners from the Interlake that they took around on the bus. And the mayor came to Hawthorne and gave greetings, and it was a good group. There's about 22 people. They had coffee and something to eat, and were there about an hour, and then went on their way. It was good.
Okay.
And that's it for me.
Dave?
Thank you. June 13th, Deepak, Dave Corbus, and myself and Tyler had a meeting at the East Beach's Firehouse with Alexander attending also. What's one thing interesting thing, they're 11 firefighters short, which is a lot. Yeah, I'm just kind of surprised that's how much they've got to get some recruits. We spoke about the wages. Tyler spoke on that, on the wages for the fire departments. Had a fire chief update. And it was a good general discussion. And the generator that we have that went up there from the treatment plant, well, unfortunately it's not compatible with, so that's probably not gonna work unless they decide to spend a bunch of money to make it compatible, but it doesn't seem that worth it. It's too bad, it's just
Is it Is it because the connection portion of the building isn't compatible with connecting to it? When they built the building, they didn't have an outlet ready to plug and play?
I think it's more than that, but it's got to do with the connections with the power
Okay,
in the fire hall itself, and it just, I guess they had people look at it, and it can be, anything can be done, but it's gonna cost a lot of money.
mhm,
It kind of looks like they're not gonna go that route, but we had some discussion on it anyway. June 15th, Councillor Horbus and myself, we attended the Promoting Aboriginal Student Success Awards at the comprehensive school in Selkirk. There was a combination, there was gold medallion awards and crystal awards. Some of the awards was more than one people. It was a total of 9 awards given out. Some awards more than one person. And then they also had on the side, there was some awards. Dr. Alan Ajmodier received an award from the same group. And there was the Métis Red River Local Elaine Titchborn Memorial Award given out, an Indigenous Science Award given to Guy Guy Savoy. Overall, it was good. One thing that Councillor Horbus brought up between him and I, and he makes a lot of sense. Like, I think it made sense that, you know, these awards should work hand in hand with the awards that are given out to the students at the school, not a separate award for the Aboriginal, because it kind of segregates people. It
it
makes,
should be part of the same event that I went to.
Exactly.
when Dave brought it up, it makes a lot of sense, so I'd mentioned that. June 19th, Mars Strategic Planning Roundtable in Winnipeg, attended that. June 20th, GMCC, Councillor Horbus and myself attended. Susan and Brenda works up at the desk, and they're going to kind of co-manage until they find another manager. There is Brenda, I'm sorry, I forget her last name. She is one of the applicants, and there's one other applicant, so to apply for the manager job.
2 people.
Yes. They had applied for a grant for a shade structure outside in the yard. And we had more discussions about the kitchen. We basically said, well, you know, they have to have a plan. They're all over the place. And present to council or to DPAC a legitimate plan, not, you know, we'd like to do this or that. And we explained that to them, even though we're on the board, but it's kind of difficult doing, you know, but we.
They have received a letter from me,
Okay.
clearly stating they can't proceed with putting in a kitchen.
Yeah, they spoke of that, yes. So, I think they kind of see what we're talking about, like if you've got something you want to proceed with, and get a proper plan. Not, this is what we want to do here, we're going to do this later down the road. That doesn't tell us anything, so. Yeah. June 22nd, again attended the open procession at the Highland Gathering. There was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of us, I think, yeah. It was just Saturday, Saturdays. Seemed to be pretty good crowds. The only glitch, I just mentioned, it was kind of funny. Debbie got up to say her speech, and she was about halfway, I'm going to say halfway through, and she had the microphone, and you know, well, lo and behold, the bagpipes started.
Drums.
And no, it was bagpipes. Well, I'm not going to.
They're bringing in the haggis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, was it not bagpipes? Okay, doesn't matter, but it was,
It
yeah.
was drums and bagpipes.
Yeah, we always work together, drums and bagpipes. So Debbie, and I guess she did the right thing, she just stopped her, because of, over the drums and bagpipes, she couldn't hear anything, so. When everything was over, when that little thing was over, Debbie got up and finished her speech. So I just bring it up because it was kind of funny.
Actually, there was a comment there that was the shortest speech.
Just from the first to the second.
The first one.
Yeah, that's it.
Are you done?
Unless you're ready to talk about some other stuff.
Glenn?
June 18th, June district meeting in Lackawanna, full house there. Then June 22nd, Highland Gathering as well. We're expanding next year. I got to speak to the coordinator afterward. They're gonna expand the doggy parade and bring in some bigger British breeds. And it does sponsor, Canvasback is a sponsor. And that's it.
Okay, thank you. So, on the 13th of June, did the East Beaches Fire Hall with Deepak, Tyler, and Dave. And Dave pretty much summed it all up. On the 15th of June, I did the luncheon with Dave again at the school, Lord Salkirk. And we pretty much nailed that one. And then on the 18th of June, I was in Lackawanna with pretty much all the council, and I had the great honor of accepting a pin on behalf of Councillor Sutherland. And at this time, I would like to award you with this pin that they
Oh, thank you very much.
had given me.
I'll wear that, so we'll get another.
I forgot it, it's in my jacket. I'll bring it to the
That's
next
me,
meeting.
thank you.
And on the 19th, I went with Councillor Strang to Gimli for fish. And we all got to stand up and tell everybody who we were and what was it, or
Something unique about yourself.
something unique about yourself.
What kind of fish are you?
And then on the 20th, we went to GMCC, Dave and myself, and we talked about the kitchen and the new manager, hiring, and that's about it. That's it. Mr. Joshi, you
Go
have,
ahead.
oh, sorry, Dave, go ahead.
Thanks for jogging my memory here. At the GMC, but Leanne also brought up code of conduct because of the little incident that happened second last meeting. That we have to,
I've had a discussion with the board chair, and we're gonna be getting together in September. He said that he wasn't able to make it through the summer to meet, so in September I'll be meeting with him to discuss code of conduct for board members, as well as the requirements of the board itself and the treatment of staff. And how, generally speaking, just general principles under how they should be run. He was very appreciative of it, as I informed him. Any negative perception of the board is a reflection onto the RM, and that board is under our insurance policy, so we have a big stake in the product itself. So he's agreed to that. In camera, I'll share some additional information I've discovered that I'm hoping to share with them in the next little while, which is regarding their board complement, as well as some of the things that were originally
Anything else?
Mr. Chair, I don't think you've talked to Councillor Basarowicz yet, right?
Yeah. That must have been.
Okay, so my turn. We'll start off with my meetings as identified. I had a meeting at Red River Planning on the 19th on the issues around, sorry, let's go back, sorry, I forgot to mention.
We'll go back 2 years like Councilor Strand,
There was a meeting at, there was the joint exercise functional that occurred. I wasn't able to make it. The other was the fire meeting with a joint committee between East Beaches, between the RMSA Clements and the Arm of Alexander that occurred on the 13th. And then there was the meeting on Wednesday for the RPD at Maple. There was also the June district meeting, and Councillor Basarowicz received 20-year pin, which I think was the second longest running councillor. There, somebody else received 25-year pin.
Is that in history?
Could be. And I've had some meetings with Caltech regarding the South St. Clements Activity Center, as well as the medical facility that might be contemplated or not. We've also had some discussions with GMCC and various other groups. And on that, what I normally provide you with is a written report. I'm sorry, this time I wasn't able to get to my written report. I will update it for my next meeting, so I'll have 2 months worth. But I thought I'd share some of the information that would be in the written report. The first thing is from our fire departments. We had 5 emergency calls in May in East Stalker. In Narrow, we had 9 emergency calls. In East Beaches, we had an additional 5 emergency calls. Each one of those calls has been is available, such as the East Beaches calls were electrical wiring, a medical assist, and wildland fire response. The fire departments have identified that we are doing more medical assists on an ongoing basis. The East Selkirk Fire Department, again, another medical assist, fire alarm, and then a motor vehicle collision. There were 3 of those. As well as the Narrow Fire Response System. From them, we had 2 medical assists, again, and then fire alarm, vehicle fire, structure fire, as well as a motor vehicle collisions, 3 of them. So as the summer volumes increase, so do our responses. We haven't had any significant issues related with our fire bans or anything like that. This last month is also, we've started the PBLE enforcement program. So they're back picking up on the weekends for us after the May long weekend. And so with that, first of all, which is the animal control, which is also part of PBLE, they deal with the majority of our animal complaints throughout the year. We had 3 complaints, 2 patrols, and 3 dogs at large. We did end up with 2 dogs that ended up in our care. One was from here off of St. Peter's Road, another one was off of Gull Lake. Unfortunately, we weren't, the one dog we had for over 12 days could not find the owner and was very aggressive and unfortunately had to be euthanized. And yet it was very, seemed to be loyal. When we found it, it had a leash and a collar attached to him and would not leave the location where he was left. So, yes, but yeah, it became too aggressive. We tried to find a place for it, but even our the people that we deal with that take some of these animals to rescue weren't able to take it because it was too aggressive. The other animal we found, again, couldn't find an owner, but we were able to make a deal with the rescue, and it was flown out to BC, and it's been saved, but at the expense of the rescue agency, We did have some expenses related with that, and it was difficult to determine whether that dog was in the arm of Alexander or it was in the arm of St. Clements because the location it was found. So we had a very good conversation with the arm of Alexander, and they had agreed to take on the majority of the cost, and we took on 50% of the cost to transport the dog to the airport from our location here.
Do we know what type of breed it was?
Shepherd. Both of them were shepherds.
There's signs up, posted by 317, and somewhere else I saw signs with different colors of paper, very noticeable.
Yeah, over here too.
Yeah, saying about a dog, a
Dogs
missing dog.
That one's, a Lori Golden Retriever.
Oh, okay,
So
sorry.
maybe we'll find it. If we do, we try to connect. We've had very good success in the last few years. We've had good success in saving every animal except for initially when we had some challenges at the beginning. So since we've started this program of trying to find owners, social media as well as contacting this rescue agency and working with the city of Winnipeg on some of their recommendations, it's been working really well. As to the weekend enforcement from PBLE, we've had 10 shits, 13 off-road vehicle warnings, 4 parking warnings, 5 noise complaints, 6 calls for service, 2 assisting a driver, and 50 public contacts themselves. They've been patrolling the areas, their daily reports are very up to date, and things have been working quite well with them. So things have been working very well with our bylaw enforcement and many of those other areas. As mentioned, I am working on providing other statistics for council.
Thank you. That's it?
That's it.
Okay. Heather,
No, I'm good.
you're good? Okay, thank you.
Question?
Yeah, go ahead.
You mentioned that this dog was shipped to BC someplace. Was that through that same rescue that
Yeah.
we
Yes.
dealt with before?
Yeah.
Yes. We've been able to develop a relationship with them, and then they're able to take some animals because they're a no-kill rescue agency. And so they've been able to find places for some of these places in BC. We discovered that every other Manitoba rescue agency is full to the brim. Nobody's able to take any rescues.
Just easy.
Well, in Manitoba.
No,
But in BC, there's some advantages where they have built some relationships. But here in Manitoba, we've contacted several. I had Tyler also work with the city of Winnipeg.
There's a big one that just got shut down too.
Yes, that's right, there was a big one that was shut down. And that's been the ongoing challenge, is that this is the hangover from the COVID animal
Right.
situation. We want
Is
that
this the
people-
agency you're talking about that they scooped that dog that
Yeah.
time?
Yep.
Yeah.
I knew you would notice, Counselor. You weren't pleased with that. Well, yes, they
Oh,
did
yeah.
scoop that dog, but at the end of the day, they are rescuing dogs. And so for us, it's a significant savings, because if you're looking at euthanization costs, those are significant.
I wasn't upset about that, I'm just upset at the way they did it.
Yes.
If they would have notified, it's like they went behind us,
They
like
did.
they made it look, you know what I
Yes.
mean?
Yeah.
They just,
They wanted to rescue that dog no matter what, and
Yeah.
then they just
no,
basically
that's fine,
took
but I
it at
mean,
the last minute. That was the one, it was the one where they were, those individuals aren't allowed, they aren't fostering anymore. They
Yeah.
were fostering, and then they weren't taking care of the fosters, and because it was a foster, they scooped in and they saved that, because I don't believe it.
well, that dog,
Killed.
one big dog killed the other.
Cat.
Cat,
Was it
killed
a
the
cat?
cat.
Neighbor's cat.
Oh, that's, oh, yeah,
St. Peter's.
okay, yeah. All right, so Kevin's here, are we gonna get going with him, or?
We can go into the in-camera part of the discussions now.
Okay.
Sure. So. Resolved, council recess the regular meeting and go into in-camera to discuss legal and personnel issues, and further be it resolved that all matters discussed will remain confidential as per section 83(1)B of this law.
Moved by Rob, second by